here on Radio Vision Network, and today we're talking about South Jersey's largest community, Vineland, New Jersey. And we have the Vineland Chamber of Commerce here with us today. So why don't you introduce yourself and let us know who you are and who you represent.
All right, thank you, Carol. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. I appreciate that. My name is Dawn Hunter. I'm the Executive Director of the Greater Vineland Chamber of Commerce. And we are, we were founded in 1919, so we're 97 years young, and we have about 500 member businesses in Vineland and the Cumberland County area.
Oh, very good. Now tell us a little bit of the history. How did this community come to be called Vineland?
Okay, it was founded by Charles K. Landis, and that was in 1861. And they dropped him off a train, and he had to walk in. It was not a cleared area, very forestry and hard to get to. But he decided that he wanted to create a community that could live off the land. And that's actually how it started, and he thought it was good for growing vegetables and wine, and the soil was good, and so Vineland.
Very good, and I know the main drag is Landis Avenue,
Yes.
and I did notice that everybody calls it the Avenue.
Yes,
That is the center of town.
it is. It runs off of Route 55 all the way through Vineland.
And it's a very wide road.
It is very wide. It's two lanes, one lane in each direction, but it's extremely wide, and it was designed that way by Charles Landis. He wanted to have this nice, wide road in the center.
Yeah, I was reading up on him, and he wanted to have flowers along the roadways, and that's why he wanted the 100-foot wide roads.
Right.
And he wanted flowering bushes and trees and things like this.
Mhm.
So once he had the land, I understand he bought 30,000 acres first and then 20,000 acres. So he's got 50,000 acres worth of highly wooded land. What's he going to do with it then?
Well, he advertised, he even went over to Italy to get the immigrants from Italy to come, and they did. Their families, they brought them all the way over here and created the community themselves and worked the farmland and created great successful working farms that some are still operating today.
Wow.
Yeah, so he advertised heavily to get people to come to Vineland and
Well,
establish.
he was pretty smart because he offered these Italian vineyard growers, he offered them 20 acres. But they were 20 acres that were filled with woods.
Right.
So they had to fell the logs and clear the land.
They did.
And they did that, and
They
then
did.
they opened their vineyards.
Yes, and it
you know.
became a thriving community in South Jersey.
Predominantly now, what is the product that is raised in the Vineland area?
We have a lot of glass manufacturing. There's a long history of glass manufacturing.
Who would be a glass manufacturer? Is there a name we would know?
It's mostly scientific glass, but yes, ARC International, which is also known as Durand Glass, is in that area. We have Worldwide Glass Resources.
Now, are they like microscope glass and things like that, or are they making glass bottles and jars?
It varies. We have another company, Chem Glass Life Sciences, and they actually hand blow a lot of their products.
Oh, wow.
So it's really an artist form still of some of the glass making that goes on. It's amazing to tour those facilities.
Now, I had forgotten in my history lesson that New Jersey had a train that went all the way down to South Jersey to Vineland.
Yes.
And that had to be the way that they harvested or transported what they harvested.
They did.
And
Yeah.
so it was predominantly vegetables and, of course, the grapes.
Yes, and we also have Vineland Produce Auction, which is the largest produce auction on the eastern seaboard of the United States, right in Vineland. And that is from that history of the farmland, producing their product, and how do you get it out of that area. They go to the produce auction. And so now it's mostly by truck, but we still have train freight through Vineland.
And is it open to the public, or is that for businesses to go in?
For the farmers.
For quantity, wholesale?
Yes, wholesale.
Wholesale.
But
Okay.
it's the largest one on the eastern seaboard.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what is your diversity like there? What kind of people live in Vineland? Are they all farmers, or do you
No.
have a city center?
Yes, we have a very diverse population. We have a lot of working farms still, and then, as I said, we have glass manufacturing. We have food processing. which is big, which is also historically from the farmland, and so a lot of those industries and ancillary businesses that support that. We have a lot of retail, we have restaurants and shopping. We have two wonderful theaters in Cumberland County, one in Vineland, right on Landis Avenue, fully restored, beautiful theater. And then we have Levoy Theater in Millville next door, which is also fully restored recently in the last few years, and both are just beautiful theaters.
Well, Vineland seems to be a gem, not even in the rough. It seems to be a true gem.
It is.
With their theater, two theaters there, that's really wonderful. And the farmland. And what about the transportation in and out beside the train? Are you near 295? Are you near the ocean? Where are you physically located?
Geographically, it's a great location because we are halfway between Philadelphia and the coastline. So you're within 40 minutes to a beach. Coincidentally, Charles K. Landis also founded Sea Isle City. So you're directly about 40 minutes west of Sea Isle City. We're on the same latitude for climate as Baltimore, Maryland. So the climate is very temperate. And a lot of the storms that come up the Delaware into Philadelphia area, we miss. They go around us.
They follow the river up.
Right, right. And we're right off of Route 55. And you can also access Route 42 east to west from Atlantic City across to Philadelphia. So it really is a great location.
It really is. Part of the history that I was reading told us about a gentleman who had struck it rich in the gold fields.
Yeah, yes.
And then he came to Vineland.
Yes.
And what is that story about?
Well, his name is George Daner, and he was a gold miner. And he lost his fortune in the crash of 1929, and he had a home in Vineland that became known as the Palace of Depression.
Palace of Depression.
Yes.
All right, so that's not that he was physically depressed, although he
well,
was, but it was referencing the Great Depression.
Yes.
And that he was trying to survive after it or during it? Or
after he had lost his fortune. So he created his home out of paraphernalia and discarded items, and he would charge people to visit his home.
Very good.
Yeah.
Now, can you hold that thought?
Sure.
And let's go to a commercial here, and we'll come back, and that sounds really interesting. Radio Vision Network here, Morning Coffee Friday with Carol's. We're talking Vineland, New Jersey, so if you have any relatives or anybody, go tell them to turn the TV on. There's a lot to see in Vineland, and we'll be right back with Radio Vision Network.
Today's show is sponsored by Hargrove Demolition, your demolition experts. Hargrove is a family-owned and operated business right here in the southern New Jersey area, bringing you 45 years of demolition expertise. Hargrove has all your demolition needs, from emergency demolition service to demolition equipment rental. Hargrove is one of the state-approved recycling facilities right here in the southern New Jersey area. No job is too big or too small for Hargrove Demolition. Contact them today at one of their 3 locations.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
When we make Beyond Natural dry dog and cat foods, we start with real meat as the first ingredient. We leave out corn, wheat, and soy. And We own where our dry food is made. 100%. Can other brands say all that? For nutrition you can trust and your pet will enjoy. Does your food go beyond? Learn more at purinabeyond.com.
Extra Innings is the nation's premier indoor baseball and softball training center, featuring indoor batting cages, 7 multi-use tunnels, and training rooms. Extra Innings can provide professional instruction, private and group lessons, and the best year-round clinics. Along with a nationally recognized pro shop that features the latest and widest selection of equipment and apparel, our experienced staff can provide you with the right instruction and help you find the best equipment for your ability and budget. Extra Innings, where the game never ends.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
We're back with Radio Vision Network, Morning Coffee, Friday with Carole. I'm Carole Moore, and we're talking about Vineland, New Jersey. And we were talking, before we went to commercial, about the Palace, what was it?
Palace of Depression.
And we're going to hear some more about the Palace of Depression, which still does exist. It did exist from a gentleman who made his money in the gold mines of California, and he lost them on Wall Street during the Great Depression. And then he moved to Vineland, to his house in Vineland, and this is what we have. So start again and tell us about this wonderful house that still exists.
Okay. Well, it didn't exist for a while, but it was known as the Home of Junk.
Home of Junk.
Home of Junk
Okay.
was the informal name of it, and it was a testament to the willpower against the effects of the Depression. So he just created this very eccentric, unique place where people could come and they'd pay a fee and through the ticket booth that he built.
He would make them pay a fee to come and walk through his house.
Yes.
Which was unique to all other houses. And people,
Yes.
even after the Depression and during the Depression, would have a few pennies to...
Yes, I don't know what he
Wow.
charged, but he did do that to keep going, and I think he probably became more eccentric as time went on, and eventually, I don't know the whole history of what happened to him, but his house was kind of destroyed and
went into rack and
dilapidated.
ruin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have a couple of people in our city
Couple
that
gentlemen who are going to
yes,
revive it.
they have been, and it's taken them years. It's a labor of love, really. But it has actually come to be, it's 3 stories now. You can tour it. We get quite a few school groups that will call us that want to come.
Palace of Depression. Remember that. Someplace you want to visit. Schools, take note. And I understand they do something at Halloween.
Yes, they do a Halloween celebration in the Palace of Depression, and it
would work
yes,
very well.
it's perfectly suited for the event.
Have you ever been there?
I have. I have toured it myself recently,
What
and that's.
type of things would you see there?
Well, it's built
structure?
out of brick,
Oh, it's
and
a brick?
okay. It's built out of brick that they've found off sites and
Okay.
donated.
Recycled brick.
Recycled, thank you. And then as you walk through, and they're creating it like with the curved steps down. You go down below the ground level, and there's 3 rooms, and they've put artifacts in those 3 rooms of what it might have been like. And
So it's a little museum down
it
basement.
is,
Wonderful.
and you'll find things built into the walls like bottles and little art pieces, just things they're finding and kind of creating that same atmosphere of a home of junk. But
These men that are doing this, are they businessmen that have live in Vineland and this is their challenge?
well, one, the head of the project was a city employee, and he retired 2 years ago. And his name was Kevin, and he worked on it in his spare time when he worked for the city, and now he's retired, and so he's spending a lot more time doing that. His son helps him with the project. And then he has an artist from Philadelphia that is there and helping him with the project.
And so who owns it? Does the city of Vineland own it, or is it owned privately?
That's a good question. I
Okay.
think they have a
We'll
foundation.
come back to you for that.
Yeah. I'll have to
Let
come
you
back.
do your homework on that as well.
Yeah.
I was interested when I did my Wikipedia search on it that in Vineland you had not only a great poultry business, but you
Yes.
had a laboratory that founded the cure for fowl pox. Fowl, F-O-W-L, like chicken, poultry, okay? And just like we got chicken pox,
Right.
I being a farm girl, I know there were fowl pox around. And the vaccine was created right here in Vineland. So that's a wonderful piece of history, because that has literally saved the poultry industry.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
even when I buy baby chicks from a hatchery,
Right.
they have to have the vaccine before they come in. So that was really a big deal in the
Right.
chicken industry.
And there are still a lot of people that raise chickens in Vineland. It still has that.
Commercially, or are you saying in
No,
their
on their
homes?
homes, on their properties. You know, still has that egg capital of the world, poultry history.
Yeah, I
to it.
saw that one too, the egg basket of the world,
Yes, yeah.
because of so many chickens down
Yeah.
there. So that was a wonderful thing too.
They shipped them all across the country.
Wow. And they had that train, that West Jersey train track
Right.
that came right down, that shipped the grapes and the fruits and vegetables, also shipped the eggs. That was really, really a great train track.
It was. Yeah.
I also was interested that I hear so much about the Goddard School, and here a Mr. Goddard, who was the psychiatrist, he founded the Goddard School, which is a pristine school, and he also invented a couple terms that we may not be so easy to have them roll off our tongue. Moron was one.
Yes.
This was the first time a school for the what I grew up as a teacher calling special ed, and now some people call it handicapped, and of course politically correct. It's got all other terminologies. but
Developmentally challenged
yes,
is
the
one.
challenge. And Dr. Goddard founded the word moron.
Yes.
Now, I, as a child in the 1960s, was not allowed to use that word. My
Right.
father felt that was very derogatory and not to use it.
Right.
And but he also coined the term feeble-minded, which again we use all the time. Sometimes I find people in my own family to be quite feeble-minded. And that's a little nicer than calling them a moron,
Yes. Yeah.
And so
Keeps the family
Exactly.
together.
Now, another funny thing that I did find on Wikipedia, thank you Wikipedia, was on the 150th anniversary of Vineland. There's a fabulous TV show that is called Cake Boss,
Yes.
and the Vineland mayor ordered
At the time.
ordered a fabulous cake from Cake Boss.
He did.
Except he had a rebellion from the 6 bakeries in town to the
Yes.
point where he had to cancel the order and let the local bakeries.
We did. We
So-
did. I actually served on the committee for that event that the city was hosting, and we had a meeting at City Hall with all the bakeries that were in protest of that he had ordered this cake out from outside of Vineland, and so they all produced these amazing cakes for the event. They were absolutely fabulous.
It's always good to use the hometown crop.
Absolutely. Shop local.
Absolutely. And I like the fact that you're only 40 minutes from the ocean.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
that makes you very, very visible and very viable.
Yes.
And what's the town that?
Sea Isle City,
Sea Isle City
was
is-
founded. It's
so
like
you-
our sister city on the
That
shore.
is very good. Well, hold that thought, and we'll be back. This is Radio Vision Network Morning Coffee. Friday with Carole. I nearly said Wednesday. We're going to a Wednesday format. That's why I'm goofing up here a little bit. And we'll be right back with some more about Vineland, New Jersey, right here at Radio Vision Network. Stay tuned.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facials, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
And here we are again on Radio Vision Network. Morning Coffee is the show, and I'm the host, Carole Moore, and this is called Morning Coffee Friday with Carole. And we've been talking about Vineland, New Jersey, the largest city in the state of southern New Jersey, down in the south part of Jersey. And we're very fortunate. We have the Vineland Chamber of Commerce here today, and we're going to learn some history about women from Vineland. So
Yes.
Tell us some women's history there.
Okay, the women of Vineland were very active, and in 1868, 172 women cast a vote in the election.
Wow.
And they voted, even though their vote did not count. They did cast their votes to protest their lack of civil rights.
Wow, that was way before the suffragettes.
Yes, it was.
They were leading, women were leading right here in
In
Vineland, New
Vineland.
Jersey.
Yes, they
Wow.
were. And Susan B. Anthony came to Vineland in 1868 and spoke there.
Wow. Susan B. Anthony, I think her home was up in Haddonfield.
Okay.
I've been toured that. And she literally, Susan B., she not only got a coin named after her, but she
Right.
got a rap sheet as well, because she was arrested many times for civil disobedience.
Oh, okay.
So
I think we'd accept that.
We do accept that now, because it was her making the noise that helped these ladies
Yes.
to push the effort and eventually get the right to vote. So
Yes.
that was wonderful and so
Yes.
progressive
I
in
know.
a community in South Jersey that we never heard of.
Yes, and we have I'm proud to say at the Chamber, we have a very active women's professional group that meets every other month and is a great opportunity for women to network in the business community still today.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. What else can you tell us about Vineland that we have missed?
Well, we could talk about Welch's grape
Oh
juice.
yes, please, my favorite grape juice.
Dr. Welch invented grape juice. He devised.
So his name was Dr. Welsh,
Yes.
W-E-L-S-H.
Yes,
And so that's where we got the Welch's
right. Grape juice.
and the jelly.
And then the jelly eventually.
Jams and jellies.
But originally he was devising a method to preserve unfermented wine to be used in communion services in the church.
Oh.
It was for that purpose, and that's how it became eventually a commercial product, but it was really for church services originally by Dr. Welch.
So we think of grape juice as being a kid's drink.
Yeah.
Because it has no alcohol in it.
Right.
But originally, the original wines, they were preserved by the fermentation process. They did not need refrigeration.
Right.
So now you want to have a juice that is not going to be fermented. How do you preserve it? And he
Right.
figured that
And
all
he
out.
figured that out. And if you visit Vineland Historical Society in Vineland, That is an amazing place that has all sorts of history and artifacts about the women in Vineland, as well as Charles K. Landis and Dr. Welch, and it's just a treasure trove of items.
Now, is that open during the day? Is that open
Yes.
every day?
Yes,
Okay.
it's open.
And it's
I think it's open at 1 o'clock every day, but you could go online
and it's
and
called
find it.
Vineland Historic.
Vineland Historical and Antiquarian Society.
Okay, very good. That was the word I didn't remember.
Right.
Antiquarian Society. So that's
Amazing
wonderful.
place with all sorts of history about everything we've talked about.
What else do we have? Anything else that we've missed?
The drive-in theater.
Oh, yes. I spent many years in the 1960s with my husband, then my boyfriend,
Very good.
in the Route 130 drive-in theater in Edgewater Park. But sometimes we didn't like the movie that was playing there, and we would come down to the Pennsauken was a drive-in.
Oh, right.
And then, now Vineland is the last one left.
It is the last operating drive-in theater in the state of New Jersey.
Wow.
Proudly, our office is just up the street from it. And on Friday and Saturday nights, the line is down Delsey Drive to get into that theater. And he keeps up to date on the technology. It's digital screens, and
Wonderful.
yeah, it really is a treasure. It's one of the great pieces of history that's still active.
Well, the cost used to be $1.50 a person, and then as many as you could sneak into your trunk
Right.
as possible. And
I don't know what it costs now, but he
We
has a
will-
great website too.
we will check that
Delsey
out.
Drive-In.
and how would people get in touch with you?
To contact us through the internet, you'd go to our website, which is www.vinelandchamber.org, and we have a great event calendar there that lists all events in the community as well as chamber events. And we also have a Facebook page that you can find us at Greater Vineland Chamber, or you could follow us on Twitter at Vineland Chamber.
Very good. And one of the events that's coming up is the Dandelion Dinner.
Yes.
Which I'm going to look into because as a medicinal person in organics,
Yes.
definitely Dandelion has a lot of good properties in it.
It does.
And right now we're going to, they're telling me something here.
Pictures.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
We have some
Yes.
pictures that she brought with us. Please put them on, Keith. We're sorry, we're getting a little confused there. And what is this that we're looking at?
Okay, so we do Career Day. Oh no, I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on. That is a ribbon cutting.
Oh, that's the
So
ribbon
that's
cutting.
one of our members. We do ribbon cuttings to support them and promote their businesses.
So whenever a new business comes,
This particular business was celebrating a 15-year anniversary
wonderful.
of a family-owned
for
business.
any business, it's 15 years is a real challenge.
It is.
you know.
Yeah, very
What
good
else do we
business.
have on there, Keith?
And I believe this is Career Day. Is that the students?
Partnerships?
Yes, partnerships. That is Career Day at Vineland High School, which we host every year.
So the businesses partner with the high school in
Yes.
order to see where kids are going to go to college or what they're going to
Actually, what we do is we just want them to be exposed to all the businesses that are in Vineland and all the opportunities that exist locally for them.
Right, very good. Anything else there, Keith, that we're missing?
Oh, and this is our advocacy group. We have a very strong advocacy committee that we look at issues. We meet with our elected officials all the time. We have very good relationships from city, county, state, and federal levels that we have communications and we take positions on issues, as well as if a member has an issue that only pertains to their industry, we help them investigate that and represent them. So the advocacy is
And are
very
they
important.
people from the citizenry or are they businesses that are meeting at this?
The business community
Business
is part of the
community?
committee.
Very good.
Yes.
Any others here? We got, what do we have, another one here?
Oh, that is
Last
our
one.
cash mob event. One
What does
of
that
my
mean?
favorite events that we do are called cash mobs. We go to local businesses at a certain time and date, and we
They
just
know you're coming?
we notify them that we're
Okay.
coming, but you don't have to register. We just promote it, and everyone shows up with a $10 bill to spend. We take a nice group photo out in front of the business.
And it's
and
called
then
Cash Mob.
Cash mob.
Wonderful.
Just to support local businesses and spend a little money, and people say, wow, I've never been here, and
That's
is the
exactly
goal.
right. Exactly right. That's the biggest
My
thing is
favorite.
getting them in the door.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Carol. I
for
really enjoyed it.
educating us in reference to the what's going to be happening And we will be seeing you next time at Radio Vision Network. This is Morning Coffee, Friday with Carole. And thank you for coming from Vineland, New Jersey. And tell the rest of you out there, go down to Vineland, check it out. I'm going to the museum, and I'm going to the Palace of Junk.
A depression.
Depression, the Palace of Depression. We'll see you
Very
then
good.
next time on Radio Vision Network. Have a great week.